What is red and bad for your teeth?
Okay, so I feel the need to start out this video by saying, don't steal street signs. This street sign was in my house, or not in my house, actually in my garage when I bought my house like 2.5 years ago. And so by that right, it's mine. Was it stolen? I don't know. But since no one's ever came looking for it, I'm gonna count it as mine. Because everything I purchased was, with the house. Anyway, so also I wanna say, don't get involved in riots. If there is a zombie apocalypse or you have a chance to take part in a shield wall, I'll allow it, but don't do anything stupid. Anyway, all disclaimers aside, I decided to make a riot shield. Been wanting to do this for kind of a while, but have yet to get around to doing it. So I have this road closed sign, fairly large. It's it's pretty big. Gonna cut it down a little bit with a reciprocating saw, get it close to shape. Then I'm gonna cut a small window out, or actually no, I'm probably gonna bend the sides out just a little bit, or not out, but in a little bit, give it a little more shape. Cut a window out, got some expanding metal I'm gonna put over that. Then put either some sort of plastic or Lexan over it, or not over it, but between that and the expanded metal, so that way you can't get pepper sprayed or anything, hypothetically, in the face. Also, I had a lot of people every time I mentioned making a riot shield out of a street sign saying I should use a stop sign or something, or road closed sign, something with a little bit of a pun behind it. And I just want to say I'm not doing that. I'm not a hack. I'm going to paint it and then probably paint some sort of logo or something stupid on it like that, as opposed to leaving it look like this. I don't really know what happened to this thing, but it looks like it's been through hell. Okay, so I'm gonna start by trimming down not the shield, but the street sign. I have this first mark here at 44 inches, which will be the height of the shield. Then I'll probably take a couple inches off the side as well. And I'm just gonna use my reciprocating saw, cut it. I find it cuts this stuff fairly easily, so I think this one I'm gonna stick with for most of the cutting here. I have a jigsaw that I'll probably use for cutting the window out, but it's kind of underpowered for a lot of bigger stuff, so I think that's going to be my best option for some of the long cuts. So now comes building up some handles. My original plan was just going to go buy some pre-made handles, stick them on, call it good. But hardware store didn't have any I liked. It's a common problem where I live. Small towns and all that. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to make my own. This is already a pretty simple project, so let's, spending an extra little minutes and have the forge run to actually warm up a little bit because it's really cold out here and I don't like being cold. So, I'm just gonna make my own. I just got this, I think it's 3/8 by or not 3/8, 3/4, maybe it's an inch. Okay, the tag's not right there, it's melted. But it's not very big. My basic plan is, I'm gonna take this piece here, I'm just gonna have it hooked over. That'll be the part that kind of catches my forearm, or else kind of have my arm resting in that. And then I'll have the other piece, which I have long, so I don't know how much I'll need yet, that I'll have made to an actual handle. I'm going to wrap both in paracord and have them bolted or maybe riveted on. Haven't decided yet. I should probably go with rivets. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards at the moment. I'll decide that later. But my basic plan for the hook is that, actually a lot of the ones I've seen have done that you have your one hand, you're actually grasping on, the other one's just kind of held up to hold it in place, but you can easily let it go. But then since you have I'm going to have paracord wrapped around it when I'm done, to actually be able to hold it as a handle if I need to have two hands holding my riot shield. I kind of did a visual thing of that with my hands, even though I'm holding a camera, so that doesn't really need to be done. Anyway, I'm going to throw these in the forge and shape them to what I want them to be. So now that I have the whole thing cut out, I'm here on the back of the sign with two marks at about 5 inches in and about 18 inches between the two of them. I mostly eyeballed it so it's not exact. Those are where I'm going to bend it to where it kind of has like the sides folded in a bit. I wasn't quite certain how I was going to go about bending it. At first I'm going to strap it to a table and hit it with a hammer, but then it occurred to me that once I get one side bent, it's not going to really fit with the other. So then I was like, well, I'll just put on a couple sawhorses and hammer it that way. Then it also occurred to me that those aren't really stable. So I think about the idea, as is what I'm going with for now, I'm going to put two boards on the floor, take a metal chisel, and hammer along these lines to bend it up. Then that'll create a crease that'll bend on, and I'll go to my sawhorses and then bend them the rest of the way until I think it looks good. Is that the best idea out there? Probably not. Would it be better if I had a metal bender? Definitely. Do I have a metal bender? No. So this is what I'm going to do. And hopefully it works out well. If not, well, I'll have to figure out something else. Okay, now I have these crude bends in. Turns out just holding it down and hitting it with a ball peen hammer was the best option. Who knew? So what I'm going to do is kind of reinforce a little bit. I have these two steel strips. I think one of them's 1/8, the other one's like 3/16 or a quarter. I don't know. They're not the same thickness, but they're not super thick either. Both, I want to say 3/4 width, I think. So anyway, I have these measured out with these two little slits in them, or not really slits, more marks, that line up with the bends. I'm just going to toss them in the forge, bend them over a little bit. Then I'm going to drill probably a few holes, or maybe 2 or 3 holes along here with a cup on the outside, and then I'll drill holes in the shield that will match up, and then I'll have it riveted in place along with my handles, which I will probably... I don't know how I've edited in yet. They're already made because it was cold and the forge, he's at my shop pretty well. So we'll figure that out, how I edit this later. Not really important because, you know, make whatever order you want, I suppose, as long as they're assembled in the end the right way. Okay, now that I have my steel pieces made, need to cut out the window. I was going to have some nice measurements for this, but I ended up just kind of eyeballing it based on this piece of expanded metal I got. Of course, I'm not going to use the whole thing. My basic plan is, let's see if I can get it. I'm going to cut out this little square here. Probably make it a little smaller now that I'm looking at it. I have a couple spots here. I'll put some rivets and some lock washers, and I have a couple more down here to fit the metal, so that way it's held in place tightly. I plan on putting some sort of like Lexan or maybe Oh, what was I gonna use? Soda bottle cut, because there's expanded metal here. All you need is something to stop, pepper spray or something like that. You really don't need anything super strong. So I'll figure that out as I go. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill holes on the corner of these. I'll just use the same size as what those will be, just to only have one drill bit over here, so I have to get 2 or 3. And I'll just take a jigsaw with a metal cutout to cut the rest of it out. I haven't had much luck with those, but since this is aluminum, hopefully it won't take much. Okay, now that I have that cut out, it's time to drill a bunch of holes for a bunch of things that are now on the floor and put in a bunch of rivets. Yay! Okay, now we have that together. Got my expanded metal with plastic over it, but yeah, nothing's going through that, so I think it's pretty good. You definitely have a very scrap metal looking riot shield here. I mean, I've seen worse riot shields, but I think I'm gonna do mine a little bit of a paint job because I don't like the way that looks. So I'm gonna grab some spray paint and go from there. Okay, I do apologize for the lighting. I'm in my house at the moment because it's cold outside because, you're probably no, wait. I scheduled this earlier than usual. You actually watched it like a week before and it's, late November, so it's kind of chilly out. Anyway, I got it all painted up nice and black. Painted a little pink anarchy symbol there. Doesn't mean anything, just thought it kind of looked cool. The pink's actually from the game Rage. For some reason, they always have it painted pink. So I think it actually kind of looks cool in that color, so that's what I usually paint it as. Of course, got my expanded metal on there. I went with the plastic, don't know if I said that, but, I literally spent $1 on a 2-liter of soda and just used the bottle. Also, the only thing that's actually worth anything, the soda, and it's usually worth nothing. But I did have a problem with painting it. You can still kind of see some of the shadows of the road sign, but I don't know, kind of makes it look cool. Not bad for a kind of a junkyard riot shield.
In response to not getting the attention I deserve, I'm gonna start causing problems on purpose.